Hello and welcome to our very first online video review. We're taking a look at the new PixaPro LED 100D studio light, one of the first high-power affordable studio lights to offer an alternative to our traditional hot studio lights. Before I start, I want to make clear we have no links or affiliation with PixaPro, and that this review is based on a working studio's experience of the product, and you should take this review as a guide to your purchase. Okay, that's the formalities out of the way. Let's jump in and take a look at the features. The first thing we considered was how our lighting was going to integrate with our existing photographic softboxes and fittings. Now, being the standard Bowens S fit, the PixaPro indeed works a treat, and it smoothly fitted all our light shaping bits and bobs without a hitch. The next thing we looked at was light output. Now, when you fit any light to a softbox, you're going to lose some light. So it's important to have enough power there to provide a good workable level once it's passed through the diffusion. What I can tell you is these lights are extremely bright for LED lights. It truly amazed us how these units could produce such a high intensity of quality light from what's effectively a small cluster of surface mount diodes. You can place your hand close to the light on full power with just a faint feeling of warmth. Safe to say they run very cool. Which leads on nicely to the control of all that lovely intense light. The units are dimmable, but to within a range. When I say within a range, I mean you can control the light output without adjusting the temperature from 1 to 6. At level 1, the light is around 50% of its full intensity. This is the lowest level the light will go down to. One thing to note is that, oddly, there's no level 0 or off state unless you physically switch off the unit. When you power back on, it'll remember your previous power level and slowly ramp up or soft start. Although there is a very short blip of full power light when you power on, and this is normal apparently. It's almost as though the control circuit takes a few milliseconds to initialize. Under our tests shooting at ISO 500, we found there are approximately 2 stops of control. Talking of control, these lights offer the option of remote control. Purchasing the very reasonably priced remote gives you the ability to dim the lights individually, as a group, or all together. Now, I won't go into the detail here about the operation of the remote, but I will say you will need to read the manual on how to use it. Or you can just jump straight in like we did and find ourselves 30 minutes later still trying to fathom the slightly unclear P and C that stands for group and lamp. Needless to say, it does work fine, but it's not quite as clear as it could be. During tests, we did find that the remote can go out of range if blocked by a wall. It's strictly a line of sight radio signal. Signals are sent back to the remote from the lights, indicating current power level, and we found the display to be slightly behind or out of sync with the actual power setting. On the remote, there's no lights out function, so you can't turn any light on or off, which is a bit of a shame. This leaves you no option but to turn off the power to the unit. The build quality is good on the PixaPro. It has a strong, lightweight external metal case, and the tilt bracket does seem like it won't loosen and cause the light to droop when used with a large, heavy softbox. The lights are fan-cooled, but the fan noise is minimal. That's not to say you won't hear it, because you will, but it's so quiet that close miking like we're using today, or a tie clip, seems fine, so it isn't an issue. It's around 24 to 30 decibels, which is well below Vox level. Power consumption is low. Each unit only consumes a tiny 100 watts of the expensive stuff, and this means it's great if you're running on a generator, or like us, you need lots of studio lights running for several hours. The quality of the light is lovely. It's colourful with a very slight shift towards the red magenta range, and our camera showed a white balance of 5800 Kelvin. The PixaPro has a good colour rendering index listed at 85, and the latest shipping units we tested have been recently updated to a CRI of 90. Now, when choosing a light, we needed to make sure it didn't flicker on camera. After testing several other brands of LED lighting and finding a bit of a mixed bunch, I'm pleased to say that these didn't disappoint. Our studio camera is the FS700 with the Odyssey 7Q Plus external recorder, and we shot frame rates up to 900 and found no apparent flicker or exposure shifting, though a slight amount of synchronization banding appeared when dimmed below 50% power. Overall, I have to say we've been very impressed so far with these lights, especially the price point versus power output and integration. So impressed were we with the units, we returned and purchased a further 5 units, making our studio a shrine to PixaPro. The service at essentialphoto.co.uk was excellent with prompt next day delivery, and I'm pleased to say the units all arrived safe, well packed, and by the looks of things tested too. If you're looking for a lighting system for video and stills that's cold running, super bright, controllable, works with the rest of your Bowens accessories and plays nicely at high frame rates, then these lights might be worth a try. If you enjoyed our review and found it helpful, then please follow us, like our video and check out our studio Facebook page.